WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A nationwide move to cut 6,000 jobs in the federal prison system is being felt close to home. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Martin. At least 40 of the positions being cut are at the Women's Correctional Facility in Aliceville, Alabama. Our Quentin Smith speaks with workers and residents about what this move means to the West Alabama town. He joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Quentin.
Scott, this decision is having a huge impact on the Pickens County community. The correctional facility is a big economic driver in the area, and workers tell me these 40 job cuts may just be the beginning.
I mean, that's definitely going to have an impact, and it's something that is concerning to me as a resident in this community. John
Russell IV was born and raised in Aliceville. He knows how much of an impact the Women's Correctional Facility has on his hometown.
Ever since that prison has opened up out there, there have been obviously countless jobs that have opened up. Personally, I've had a family member who's been hired on out there, and it's impacted my family and in this community.
Russell also knows how much of a blow it is to the community now that 40 jobs are being cut from the facility. That's why he, just like many other residents, was disappointed to find out the news.
That certainly would be concerning as a citizen, because those are individuals who are not going to be here to use our, again, what Aliceville has to offer, which is really something really good.
There's not 40 people who are jobless, but there's 40 positions that they cannot hire for. So how that kind of directly affects everyone, people on the outside that were looking to hire in, or people that want to move up that are already inside, won't have that opportunity for growth either.
Union President Terrence Wyndham says this decision comes as a result of the Department of Justice cutting the budget for all federal prisons.
The cuts that they made back us up about 14%, but we don't know how deep they're trying to go with those cuts.
Out of the 40 job cuts, more than half of them are correctional officer positions. Wyndham says the cuts could prove to be dangerous because it'll mean fewer workers watching over the 1,400 inmates at the facility.
Losing those 40 jobs is going to mean that there's a increase in the ability for us to respond adequately to problems that go on in the institution. There's going to be an increase in things that we can't really see as far as, like I said, the response time, and just putting us in a dangerous position that the inmates know, hey, they have a decreased number now. So if there was a time to attack, this is the time.
Now, next month, President Trump is expected to send his proposed budget to members of Congress. However, Wyndham says he's encouraging residents to get in contact with congressional leaders in an effort to get them to oppose that budget and prevent more jobs from being cut. Scott?
All right, thanks, Quentin. Well, time now to get a first look at our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
Scott, right now we have some breezy conditions out there. A live look in Tupelo with our Alpha Insurance camera. There's Old Glory flapping in the breeze. Wind speeds have been over 25 miles per hour in some spots today. They're relaxing right now. Temperatures are cooling down into the mid to low 30s as expected. We've had a little patch of clouds move on through. We're clearing out in some spots, but there are the winds sustained now 18 in Columbus and some higher gusts out there as well. The wind chill now down into the 20s, so it's a bit brisk right now. We'll see lows tonight into the mid to upper 20s, but a lot of sunshine on Tuesday, Scott, back into the mid 40s. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Dogfighting is a felony in Mississippi, just as it is in every state, but advocates say our state laws don't have enough teeth to deter it. The most recent case is out of Wayne County, where authorities located a possible dogfighting ring this weekend. There are two different bills directed specifically to dogfighting, one in the House and one in the Senate, but it's the Senate bill that would make the biggest changes and hold perpetrators even more accountable. Courtney N. Jackson explains.
The community was outraged when more than 50 dogs were found on this property in Adams County last November. Animal advocate Dahl Stanley says it's cases like that grabbing the attention of lawmakers.
So we tend to address things when they become a crisis. Having these very critical events take place shows legislators that we're not just going, oh, what if this happens? It's happening.
Senator Bob Deering knew legislation once again needed to be filed if that was going to change.
They don't do them in Louisiana where it's strong law, or Alabama or Arkansas. They come into Mississippi to do their dog fighting.
Current law only allows a fine between $1,000 to $5,000 or 1 to 3 years prison time. Spectators can get $500 to $5,000 in fines or a year in jail.
The bottom line is, if you get rid of the spectators, you may get rid of the sport.
Senate Bill 2934 would increase the fine to $1,000 per dog involved and include at least a year of prison time per dog, with a max prison sentence of 25 years. It also increases penalties for those who watch the fighting, but advocates hope the bill gets tweaked.
The $1,000 per count and the 1 year in jail per count, up to 25 counts. That's wonderful. But what happens when there's 2 dogs or there's 3 dogs? And the person sponsoring the fight has less of a conviction, less of a penalty than the person who is spectating.
As the proposal's currently written, spectators would get from $1,000 to $5,000 in fines and up to 2 years in prison.
The Senate Judiciary A Committee is expected to take up this bill tomorrow morning. Something to note, tomorrow is a deadline day, so it would have to be moved out of the committee in order to stay in play the remainder of the session. Mississippi lawmakers could allow visitors to buy alcohol directly from distilleries. The House Ways and Means Committee has approved House Bill 995, sending it to the full House for debate. The bill, sponsored by Representative Jeff Smith from Columbus, would allow visitors to buy any liquor at distilleries but not drink those bottles on site. However, the measure says the distiller has to buy the alcohol from the Department of Revenue's Alcoholic Beverage Control warehouse in Madison County. That means the distillery would have to make the alcohol, ship it to the state, then buy it back. It's the leading cause of death on the nation's highways, distracted driving. And the Mississippi Highway Patrol has seen these fatalities firsthand. Now Troop F of the Mississippi Highway Patrol is putting its foot down to make others put their phones down. WCBI's Parker King has more.
You wonder, why did this person run off the road? Why did this single vehicle wreck occur? And the reason being, it's the cell phone. It's this modern day umbilical cord.
That's only part of Senior Trooper David Snyder's presentation on distracted driving. Snyder's personal experience is what Troop F superiors wanted all of their officers to hear.
He has a unique story about stats and numbers, and a personal story that kind of ties it in with what we're trying to do. In this case, it was his wife. Was actually killed. One of those numbers was his wife.
Trying to make the point that it's not just a number, that it's somebody's family or loved ones.
This presentation kicks off Troop F's Under 40 initiative, a number District 4's fatality count has gone over for the last 3 years.
1 is too many. We take it very serious, our job, and that's what we do every day. We're out there to reduce these injury wrecks and reduce the number of fatalities.
While texting is the main concern, Snyder says it's far from being the only threat to drivers.
Cognitive or physical or visual distractions, auditory distractions. So when you think about, kids in the back seat for a mom driving, a family of children, or just having something on your mind and being, distracted that way, or overtired or sick. Here it is flu season. I mean, there's so many different types of distraction.
But Captain Chad Moore hopes this testimony and this new initiative will help make Troop F's area a safer place to drive.
Like I said, I just want to hit home to them that these are people, actual people, and we want to be a little more aggressive with this distracting driving.
A 2016 Huffington Post survey ranked Mississippi as the second most dangerous state to drive in. Troopers hope initiatives like this will move the state down that chart.
A live look in Vernon right now. If you look closely, that gray right there, that is some low cloudiness drifting down through the region. Some spots already clear. Tomorrow, more sunshine. We stay clear. Lighter wind, but a little bit cooler into the 40s. Your full forecast is next.
Our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Lots of sunshine today. This is our Alpha Insurance time lapse from Tupelo. And then this evening, we've been watching some clouds come on in from the north. In Tupelo, they've been building in a little bit faster throughout the course of the day. They are on the way out, though. They're still with us in some spots. I've switched over our radar and satellite into night mode here, and you can see this low black right here. That is some low cloudiness drifting down through the region. You can see how the back edge there is now pushing along and east of 45. So that will move through over the next couple of hours, and then upstream we have a whole lot of nothing going on for tomorrow. That means more sunshine, but it will be cooler. There's a cooler air mass coming on in with those northwesterly breezes. It is now down to 29 in Little Rock, and we should be down into the mid to upper 20s tonight. And just looking ahead at early February, the Climate Prediction Center updating us here with the latest outlook. A good chunk of the eastern and northeastern part of the country for early February, likely below average, and we do see, at least in the next 7 days, a couple of shots of cooler air coming on down. One later this week, a few more next week perhaps. So in general, we'll just see how it all plays out. And then we have our furry prognosticator, Punxsutawney Phil. Groundhog Day on Friday in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, predicting some clouds and some snow. Will he see a shadow or not? No shadow, early spring, shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. At this point, let's just see how things go climatologically speaking. By that, we should be seeing spring sometime in March, right? Okay, in about 6 weeks. Here's our forecast for tomorrow night. The full super blue blood moon. Got it? It's going to be big. It's going to be bright. The orbit's a little bit closer to Earth. Now, the lunar eclipse gets going Wednesday morning at 4:58 in the morning, and then it will become, let's just see, maximize. It'll go total just as the moon goes down. So if you're up early Wednesday, you'll see a big ball of orange on the western horizon, and then there it goes. And then we'll see more sunshine Wednesday afternoon. Now, tomorrow on Tuesday, we're looking at mid to upper 40s around here. Not too shabby across the region. Perhaps a little bit warmer down there in Jackson. High pressure with us for tomorrow. Southerly breezes Wednesday. As we get into Thursday, look at that. There will be a cold front and a chance for some showers here. We're looking at a 50% chance of rain with that front. On Thursday, ahead of it, we're in the low 60s. Behind it, look at that. We fall back into the 40s. A cool start to Saturday morning into the 20s. 54 Saturday. 40s and more showers by Sunday, Scott.
Sometimes an undefeated record just isn't enough. A little later in sports, Tom tells us where one coach would like to see improvement. Being a parent can sometimes be scary, especially when your baby gets sick and you're not sure what exactly to do. Tonight we start off this week's topic, when should you take your baby to the emergency room, in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pam Sykes, a pediatrician at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. One of the most common questions I get from parents is, when do I need to take my child to the emergency room? We need to remember that ER stands for emergency room, which means it is for life or death emergencies. This includes health concerns that cannot wait until the morning when a patient can see their regular pediatrician. The definition of an emergency can be subdivided by age, and tonight we will discuss recommendations for infants younger than 2 months old. An infant younger than 2 months old should be taken to the ER if they have a fever greater than 100.4 rectally. For a baby younger than 2 months old, fever is a significant finding that frequently requires admission to the hospital. Difficulty breathing. Breathing hard, fast, wheezing, or labored breathing is an emergency that should be evaluated immediately. Vomiting, not just reflux, which could cause dehydration. I frequently remind my patients that ER docs are trained for life and death emergencies and are not trained for routine infant-child care. A runny nose, cough, cold, congestion, constipation, pink eye, these are all symptoms that are not generally life-threatening and are best managed by your child's regular pediatrician. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss fever.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Every game matters as area teams battle in division play. Highlights from South Pontotoc next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
Division play heating up across our area in high school hoops. Every win matters as teams look to finish the season strong. Over to South Pontotoc. We'll start with the boys facing Choctaw County in a big divisional matchup early on for the Chargers. Stephen Triplett finds Jeremy Miller inside for the 2. So Chargers lead early on, but South Pontotoc looking to answer. Check out this drive from Eddie Ivy. Just splits the double, weaves his way in. That is a beautiful take for number 10 in South Pontotoc. So back and forth early. Here comes the Chargers. Nice ball movement. Miller finds Gabo Fleming inside for the score. The Cougars not going anywhere. Really good basketball in South Pontotoc. Brett Riley finds Malik Below. Big fella connection for the triple. Takes all 3 of those. And more from Choctaw County. Amarius Brown. He's going to find Miller inside. Look at the take from Miller with the contact. I say and 1, but he'll take the bucket nonetheless. And back come the Cougars. Eddie Ivy finds Below. Wing triple. Nothing but net. But Choctaw County gets the win over South Pontotoc on the road, 54-51. And if you love barn burners, wait until you see the girls. To the ladies, South Pontotoc taking on Choctaw County, tie ball game, but not anymore. Maddie Pilcher drives left side with the mid-range J. Lady Cougars take the 2-point lead, but Choctaw County answers. Lakeisha Mitchell finds Bryson Maxwell inside for the 2. There it gets the shooter's roll. Gets the bucket to go. Tie game, 4th quarter we go. Choctaw County up by 3. Genesis Johnson misses the shot, but Krauser miss for the putback. Lady Chargers up by 5, but back comes South Pontotoc. Abby Montgomery finds Kinsey Ellis inside for the nice jump hook 2. But Choctaw County, here we go. Less than 10 seconds to go. Knocks down a pair of free throws to give them 3-point lead. Last chance for the Lady Cougars. Rebecca Pilcher finds Abby Montgomery. A good look. No good. Right off the front of the iron. And Choctaw County survives the thriller to beat South Pontotoc and sweep the Cougars in their own gym, 46-43. Mississippi State improves to 22-0 on the season, 8-0 in the SEC, and 2-0 against their rivals from Ole Miss this past Sunday. But you wouldn't know it from Vic Schaefer's post-game comments. Schaefer was critical of his team's overall toughness in the second half against Ole Miss, saying his team is not built to win a championship if that area doesn't improve.
2 things would keep us from winning the championship: leadership and maturity. Leadership and maturity. That's where I am right now with this team. We are lacking in both. And it won't happen. There's no sense in sugarcoating it, acting like it. It ain't going to happen until we can get over it and learn that leadership and maturity are what is the key to victory and winning a championship. But that's where we are right now.
I feel like us as a team, I ain't going to say everybody, we kind of responded in a negative way, and I feel like that comes with maturity. We need to just grow up. I know I had a little attitude, and I showed it on my face, and I tried to get out of it in the 4th quarter and just smile a little bit. But I feel like it comes from maturity where our team just got to grow up and just buy into what he's saying.
So on the other side, Matt Insel says his team is one of the best 32-minute teams in the country, but the Rebels haven't been able to put a full 40-minute game together. Sunday against the Bulldogs, same thing. 4 points in the first quarter, shooting 6%. That rough start crippled Ole Miss. But the Rebels played tick-for-tack with MSU the rest of the way. The Rebels have played in plenty of close games, including South Carolina and Tennessee, but Insel knows close games don't count in the win-loss column.
As I keep telling them, we're 1-7, but it's not that bad. Obviously, the 1-7 is not good. We don't want to be there, but it's not as bad as it looks or seems. We're very close, and we played a tough stretch of games, played against a lot of tough teams here. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. I can promise you that. There's no quit in me. There's no quit in my staff, and there's for sure no quit in those kids in that locker room. And anybody that's watched us know that we'll bounce back, and they'll bounce back from that. I challenged them at halftime. I thought they played really well in the second half at times, and after the first quarter, it was, it's back and forth.
So for this week, Mississippi State travels to Columbia to take on number 15 Missouri. That game is on Thursday. Big week for the Bulldogs. They have Missouri Thursday, then South Carolina next Monday. And for Ole Miss, they'll be back in the Pavilion on Thursday taking on Vanderbilt. That does it for sports. We'll ask your forecast coming up next.
More sunshine tomorrow and Wednesday, a little bit cooler Tuesday, warmer again Wednesday. Rain shower chances return Thursday. Now, I didn't mention this during Maine weather, but we could use the rain. We are seriously in drought around our region, so any rain that we can get is welcome, but a chance Thursday and Sunday.
That's good. So we need it, so maybe we'll get some.
Well, let's hope for the best this time. We had some spots that really not get a lot this past weekend. Others did. We'll see.
Well, that sounds good. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.